3 pounds on this, right?
That is correct.
Your GLP-1 is a natural hormone that's in every single one of our bodies. And your GLP-1 lets you know if you're full. It's a satiety hormone. So when your GLP is working properly, it does help suppress your appetite as well as reduce those cravings. It's a sugar-free, fast melt caramel. So what it's going to do best is it's going to reduce your sugar cravings or any other cravings you have in your body. It's going to suppress that appetite. But where Melissa got the most benefit, I think, over the last week was the L-carnitine. The L-carnitine tells your mitochondria, this is where you make, we've talked about it before, this is where you produce energy in your cells. It actually tells those mitochondria to burn fat for fuel. We're noticing other people losing up to 7 pounds in the first week. 4 pounds has been about the average. As you lose weight and as you take these Bella Melts, it's going to help lower that blood sugar in your body as well.
All the information is there. MelissaHouseBG.com, MelissaHouseBG.com. Just now introducing for the first time Bella Melt with GLP-1 fast action.
Welcome to Live Up to Freedom. Thanks so much for joining me today. It's middle of the week. I'll tell you what, some of you know about the 2 tiny changes I made last week, and what a huge difference. It's Wednesday, and I don't feel like I'm exhausted. That's great. We're live on worldviewtube.com, WorldviewTube, a Rumble on X, and WorldviewTube app, which is available for free on your App Store. We're also live on X America News on X. And we're live on my platforms on Facebook, Rumble, X, YouTube, and Substack. Join the conversation if you like to. And I told you yesterday, Barry will join me today. So if you have any questions for me or him, put them in all caps so it screams at me and I'll see it. And Lord willing, next week I'll get my new glasses so I don't have to do this to read your comments. There is a lot to talk about. I'm going to try to be serious, but if I'm not, I promise you Barry will be serious. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and bring him on because we always run out of time, right? So let's bring Barry Nussbaum on. He needs no introduction. He's a regular on my show, but you can find him on findbarry.com and his organization, American Truth Project. It's a 501c3. So if you like to support him, you can actually make tax-deductible donations by going to findbarry.com, which will take you to American Truth Project. And you can subscribe to their newsletter. It is for free. You get all of their videos for free. And trust me, they put out information that is rare. You don't find them everywhere. How's it going, Barry?
Good to see you, Annie. And like you said, it is one incredibly busy news week, especially on the topics that you and I cover every day.
Yes, it is. I mean, I feel like it has been for, what, a year now? Or maybe a month short of a year. It's been non-stop busy week in the news with our coverage. But here's where I want to start because I have to. We started the Freedom Project Monday morning and then we halted it Wednesday morning. Trump put out a truth post saying, again, per request of Pakistan and many other countries, and looks like we're going to come to an agreement. The representatives of Iran are going to basically deliver a deal, possibly. So mutually agreed to stop the Freedom Project. Apparently the blockade is going to be there, but Freedom Project is going to be paused, but everybody's going to get a pass. I am very confused as to what he even announced. So if you have any explanation on that, please do tell us what just happened.
Well, I was hoping you wouldn't ask me because I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. This is foreign policy by spin the bottle. You know that game when you're in 9th grade and you spin the bottle on the floor and you dare somebody to do something and then you're not quite sure what happens to the next person or the person after that, and the game changes every 30 to 45 seconds. I feel like we're having presidential decrees with a bottle spinning on the Resolute desk in the White House. I don't know what he's doing. And I'll tell you something, it's not just me, it's not just you. Israel has to put on a good, strong, we're behind President Trump face. But internally, they don't know what the hell's going on. They really, really don't. As of yesterday morning, when I woke up, I was reading bulletins coming out of Israel and in Israel intelligence sources saying that Ben Gurion Airport, which is the airport in Tel Aviv for Israel, was completely filled with U.S. Air tankers. There was so much equipment on the ground, there was barely room for the passenger planes. And everybody in Israel was saying that Israel has been told that Iran flipped off Trump again, said they will never give up nuclear enhancement of uranium for bomb purposes, as everyone knows. Anything above 6% is for bombs, and they've got enough for 12, maybe 15 bombs already enhanced to 60%. There's no reason to do that except for building bombs. And Iran said quite unequivocally that that's their inherent national right, and they'll never give it up. And then a day later, I don't know what Trump just did. He says we're making a deal. God forbid it's a deal like what Obama did, because the news this morning, sorry to ramble on, said that Trump is asking for a 15-year moratorium on uranium enrichment. There should be, and he has promised, a lifetime, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. No uranium enrichment, because you don't need it. It's only for bombs. Why would he give it to them now? He's saying, just as Obama did with the JCPOA that you and I fought, oh my goodness, 12 years ago together, 11 years ago, is only to make bombs, and Obama gave them the right to make bombs. Trump took it away. Now it looks like he's giving it back. I think.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
It does make me feel much better, but it was completely irrelevant to the topic. But since the whole policy is irrelevant, I rushed to my computer, guys. If it was August, I would be that tanned, but I forgot to adjust my lighting, so I did not go to a tan salon yesterday. I literally just glanced. I'm like, wow, I'm tanned. Anyways, that's actually more entertaining than talk about this deal. But I'm glad you made me feel better, because when I saw that truth post earlier this morning, I'm like, I can't even keep up. I don't even want to talk about it anymore, because it's like every hour it's changing. I titled this show, first we had the red lines. It's like, if you do this, you're destroyed. If you do that, you're destroyed. And then how about a ceasefire? I mean, we kind of achieved our military objective. So how about we just go home and Europeans go get your oil? But then while we're at it, why don't we do the Freedom Project? Well, 24 hours later, well, let me talk to my buddies in Pakistan. We might just not do that either. I'm not worried about the end game, because I called the end game before the war even started. So I know where this is going to go. My concern is this flip-flop policy changing bottle game, as you said, bottle spin game, has created a scenery where I have to zoom in the background to find Israel. That's my concern. Me and you, we know how long Israel has planned and put a perfect plan together to not just put an end to the nuke of the regime, but also to get rid of the regime. Trump has stepped in and it's like literally, you remember Nancy Pelosi, how she tore the entire speech? He did that to Israel's plan. Or at least that's how I feel about it.
I have no argument with anything you're saying. How the hell do you know what's going on if every day the bottle gets spun on the desk and it points to bomb Iran back into the Stone Age, and then a day later, spin the bottle. Okay, now it's the Freedom Project, and spin the bottle. Now I have great respect for the Field Marshal and President of Pakistan, which, by the way, is a thug Islamic country who is proliferating nuclear weapons to anyone that wants to pay for it, and they don't make a secret about it, and they're now our bestie. I don't even understand what he's doing. And I really want this to go well, as do you, as do most people that get it, but I don't know where we're going. And what really worries me a lot is Israel doesn't know where Trump is going either. They have to put on a brave face. They have to show solidarity and support for not only the leader of the free world, but the guy that's calling all the shots. I don't know what they're doing, and I just read, I'm actually looking at it now on my phone, that Trump is now given around 10 days to accept the New Deal, which, by the way, we have no idea what it is. We really, really, really don't, except that it doesn't seem to include anything resembling regime change, which is a tremendous error, I think, in policy by the United States. And then after 10 days, he's going to bomb the crap out of Iran again. You realize he's threatened this, I don't know, every 3 days. Does anybody believe him anymore?
Well, I can guarantee you that the regime inside Iran and the Iranian people don't believe a word he says anymore. As you know, I watch Iran news and I'm in direct contact with Iranians inside Iran. And I also monitor other channels that are in contact with Iranians inside Iran. And they have the Iranian people have completely given up on what they phrase as there was no help coming. And you were right. Sadly, heartbreaking, darling friend of mine said that on the phone a few days ago. It's like, you were right. I got mad at you when you said don't go get your hopes high with that post of help is on the way. But you were right. There was no help coming. And as far as the regime, they're actually pretty confident at this point that they're not going anywhere. And they feel pretty solid on this back and forth game. And that's why they're actually doing what they're doing. And we started with the 20-point plan, then went down to 16. Now it's 14. And I have a strong feeling all the items that are dropping off this list are the ones that me and you care for. They're being removed one by one. But the 10 days thing, I don't buy it either. So we got to go to our first ad break. So my conclusion on this part of the discussion is we're at a point where President Trump, like him or hate him, it doesn't matter. President Trump, as the president of the United States of America, has reached a point where he has no desire to continue this war because he knows he can't win it without having to get behind Israel's plan, meaning becoming secondary brain behind operation. So he's buying time until this all falls apart into forgotten topic, or where he can somehow show a 5-point agreement saying, you see, I got a deal, because at the end of the day, deal is what matters to him over all things possible. So you want to add anything to that before we go to ad break, Barry?
I'm so frustrated. It's hard to enunciate my level of frustration. I would leave your viewers with this one thought, and it's really important. It doesn't matter really who's leading Iran, if it's just another name from the IRGC or just another supreme leader elected by the council of experts. Nobody here cares who the name is. If they follow the IRGC guidelines and the supreme leader guidelines, it can be Muhammad this or Muhammad that, and it doesn't matter. If it's the same government with the same regime, the same plan, the names and faces are irrelevant. Look, half of them or 3/4 of them have been blown up in the last year, and their policies are exactly the same. If anything, they're becoming more extreme. And to leave that group in power is insanity, because we'll be right back at this. And whatever they sign, as you can educate your guests very clearly, doesn't matter. It's not enforceable under Islamic law because they're signing it with infidels.
Very true. Guys, I will scan through the comments during the ad break. If you have any questions, now would be a great time to put it in. And we're going to continue this discussion because there's still a lot more to cover. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a minute.
Life is too short to spend a single moment spinning in laundry worries. Take a load off your mind with the all-new Norwex Powerzyme laundry detergent. This natural detergent harnesses the power of enzymes and plant-based surfactants to leave fabrics fresh and clean without fillers, brighteners, synthetic fragrances, bleach, or harsh chemicals. So go ahead, have your cake and eat it too. More than ever, stressful stains have met their match. Powerzyme's fast-acting enzymes break down organic substances while natural surfactants loosen locked-in dirt and oil, removing residue, stains, and odors with ease. With 91% bio-based ingredients, this dermatologist-tested hypoallergenic formula is suitable for sensitive skin types and delivers a safe and effective clean that won't harm you or the planet's waterways. Less time spent worrying about laundry means you can focus on what truly matters. Norwex Powerzyme Laundry Detergent. Discover the power of nature and load up on confidence.
For staying with us until now, I greatly appreciate that. And remember, the Mother's Day sale is still ongoing with Norwex products, many different packages, so don't expect me to list them. But head over to cyruswellness.com and you'll see all the offers that are available. And I told you, I bought myself gifts, so you don't have to necessarily do a Mother's Day gift, but it is a Mother's Day sale, and it's going to keep running until June 1st. So you have time. And while you do that, getting yourself 100% chemical-free products that are pretty amazing, and I've been using them for almost a year now. You also support me financially because as a consultant, I receive a percentage commission of your purchase, cyruswellness.com. There's a question here, and yes, while this is all going on, Islamic Republic of Iran's regime is still arresting, torturing, raping, and executing Iranians. Somebody wanted me to confirm that. Yes, they are. If you go to my pages of Facebook, X, or Substack, yesterday I listed a good 12 names with their faces, their ages, the location they were killed. And it's still going on. There's no stopping. And that's exactly why Iranians have given up on Trump, even remembering they exist, let alone helping them. But that's a topic for another day as we continue covering this mess. I think that's the best way to phrase it. So let's go here now, Barry, since we kind of concluded on the illusion that has been created by Trump administration, because I really think it's the illusion they have created for people to think something was achieved, to think it's not over yet, to think and think and think. But let's go here. Israel has been our strongest ally since 1979, because before that, well, we also had the Pahlavi kingdom in Iran, who was a strong ally of America in the Middle East. Does Trump administration, his advisors, and Trump himself, do they even acknowledge the danger they have put Israel in by doing this? Or do they not care that Hamas, Houthis, Hezbollah, and IRGC are going to take revenge 10 times fold on Israel when this deal is made?
Yeah, it's not just Israel, Annie. I mean, look what they're doing right now to Israel's ally, the UAE. I mean, they've gotten way more missiles and attack drones than Israel has gotten. And shock of shocks, there's Israeli troops on the ground now in an Arab country manning 3 different defense batteries, different technologies that are Israeli designed and manufactured, protecting Arabs from Persians.
No, I'm sorry. I need to correct that. They're not Persians. I'm sorry, with all the respect, they are not Persians. What they're doing is they're protecting Arab Muslims against Shia Muslims.
Okay.
That I had to make that correction, but go ahead.
And you would know better than anyone. I think the elephant in the room is, and this is what nobody's talking about. The War Powers Act 60-day deadline was a couple days ago. And that's when Marco Rubio came on and said, war's over. We're not fighting anymore. And the commentators in Israel, some of them very prominent, said, what is he talking about? Just today, Iran shot at 3 different transport vessels in the Straits of Hormuz and killed a couple of people and shot a bunch of missiles in a number of different directions. The reason why Rubio had to say that is so the Senate and the House didn't take up another condemnation round against President Trump and drive his polling numbers down. I think that's what's the motivation behind this extreme schizophrenic war policy is the polling is terrible on a lack of understanding of what the hell is the president's goal. And if I asked you or any foreign policy expert right now, nobody really knows. Is it just to get the Strait of Hormuz open? And if so, for whom? Right? American oil experts and international petroleum experts in and outside of OPEC have all said the same thing, that basically the reservoirs that store pumped oil are full. Either they already are full or they will be within a couple of days. And at that point, wells start to get shut in Iran, which would be a catastrophe that would amount to billions and billions and billions in losses. And are you going to let them off the hook right before they have to start closing the wells? That was the whole purpose of the embargo, to cause them to fill up the reservoirs and have no place to pump the oil. And then the next step is shut the oil wells down. And you don't just turn them back on. Some oil wells will never get restarted. That's just the technology. Or is it to get insurance rates down and have gas rates drop because of speculators? I don't think anymore that Trump seems to be focused on the fact that Iran had this much time left to spend, according to them, for 11, 12 nuclear bombs. Now, nobody talks about it anymore. I mean, when was the last time Trump said we're going to get the nuclear enhanced uranium out of the ground where it was stored? I haven't heard that lately. I haven't heard that we're demanding new leadership. All he says is we blew up everybody else. So what? Everybody got replaced by a crazy guy that replaced another crazy guy. And as you said, they're still killing people in the streets. They're still hanging people, especially young people from light posts. They're still torturing and maiming. And sadly, and I really, really am sad about this, Trump said, go to the streets. Help is on the way. Lindsey Graham was saying that every day. Remember? Marco Rubio was saying that every day. That was Trump's mantra. Nobody says that anymore. Those poor people that got slaughtered thinking the cavalry was coming charging over the mountain, we abandoned them after encouraging them. That's so bad. And that ruins American reputation for a generation, in my opinion.
Well, you said nobody's addressing the elephant in the room. Interesting enough, my guest Hedy has said the same thing yesterday, and my response was, which elephant? Because at this point, I feel like I have moved to India. I'll say the same thing about this topic. But the elephant you addressed, what if I told you that I do actually know his objective? I've known it from day one. I've known it from last year, and I have written about it. So the proof is there, dated, that I know his objective, and the objective is to keep the regime in place.
In other words, you're saying, wait a minute, I want to be clear. You're saying Donald J. Trump is fine with the IRGC / Council of Experts running the country.
Pretty much, yes. And let me give my reasoning, just in case if we have new audience who have not read my Substack or have not followed me for long. Reason. It's not because Donald J. Trump is in love with IRGC like Obama was. No. Donald J. Trump got himself in a big tangle, a spider web inside Middle East around late end of his last term and early on this term. A free Iran, which means Iran freed of IRGC and the mullahs, would have not only collapsed his administration, it would have collapsed his personal investment through his entire family. Barry, we both know a free Iran, especially a free Iran under Pahlavi, would wipe Qatar off the map, not through war, but through them going back into what they were, a little name under the pen on the wall, because they were very irrelevant. And we both know the Trump family and Trump administration ties to Qatar. Same thing with Saudi Arabia. A free Iran is an unbelievable, unbearable competition for Saudi's oil. If there are no sanctions on Iran, Saudi is not going to make the money they make off of their oil. So in order to keep the alliance with those that he's deeply involved with through policy and through personal ties, he has to keep that regime in place. That has been, by the way, I started this very guess of mine after the 12 Days War. That's when I started it, not today, not after everything fell apart. No, last year after 12 Days War, I said, he is bragging about saving Khamenei's life, and he's very disappointed he didn't receive the thank you notes and the flowers. It's not because he loves the man. It's because he needs to keep his allies happy in the Middle East. And to this day, if you put the entire posting online aside, watch his actions. The very first thing he achieved was to not just handcuff, but bench IDF from achieving a single more goal or objective. He actually provided a list of names to be removed from Israel's hit list, including Ghalibov, including Arabchi, right? So with all that being said, that's how I did some dot connecting. And I'm like, I do know his objective, but there's no way he'll ever publicly say his objective.
Well, what you're saying really bothers me. Not because you're wrong, but I think you're right. And it doesn't just apply to whatever regime is in place in Iran. It applies to tremendous amounts of investment dollars in the billions in Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Gaza. There has been a lot of controversy about the Gaza Board of Peace and, Trump giving himself all kinds of awards.
What happened to that, by the way?
That's what I was going to say. They had these 12 or 14 points. That list of points is on point number, guess, point 1.
0.
It's still not on point 2 yet. Because everything that was supposedly agreed to has been abrogated by everybody.
Welcome
Hamas
to dealing with Muslims. Abrogation is part of the deal.
Yeah, Trump doesn't talk about it because it's a colossal failure. The IDF is going to have to go in on their own and conquer all of Gaza just to give it back to the non-Hamas people. Because, and I'm dead serious about this, Hamas is building tunnels right now.
I know.
They are finding more tunnels every day.
But
They're blowing up tunnels every day.
Imagine if October of last year, just to refresh everybody's memory, this whole peace plan went into effect early October of last year. October, November, December, 5 months on this date, that's 8 months of buying time for Hamas. Because we both know they had them. IDF had them. That's how we jumped in, right? And we
stopped them. And we stopped them. That's what America did. Stop.
And that's what America did with Iran too.
I can tell
12 days last year and this year, both times Israel had them.
I can tell you, because I know this for a fact, there is a very, very extensive target package that has been agreed upon between CENTCOM and the IDF through the IAF, the Israeli Air Force. And it is a long list and strategic targets. And it was personally stopped by the President of the United States as commander in chief. And so when CENTCOM had their meetings in Florida with the IDF people, and then CENTCOM went to the Kiryat, the Pentagon in Tel Aviv, and had their meetings there. All the packages have been approved. They've all been reviewed extensively by intelligence and military experts on both sides, and they've had their finger on the go button for 3-4 weeks. And every time Trump says, "You'll have till Thursday," I'm okay, I'll give you till Sunday. I mean, Iran isn't even asking for time. They're doing this. They are literally flipping off the President of the United States. And every time Trump says something that Iran has agreed to, we're talking to Iran and they are begging me for peace. The speaker, as you mentioned, his name a few minutes ago, comes on and goes, "No, we're not. We're ready to fight to the last man and die."
Oh, Ghalibaf said the same thing this morning, said we are not reviewing the 14 points because the first 4 are absolutely non-negotiable. We're not agreeing to it.
So Trump then gives them 10 more days, and they said no on the first day, Annie. What happens in the next 13 days? People forget? Meanwhile, we have satellites, and Israel has satellites. There is massive dirt moving equipment digging out missile underground storage facilities, and quite possibly underground enhanced uranium storage facilities, and fuel for the long-range ICBM ballistic missiles. And you know what we're doing? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We're not even telling them not to do it. We are literally watching them get ready after knocking them down. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championships, where one fighter, gal or girl, knocks the other one on the ground. They don't sit there and stare at the guy on the ground. No, they jump on him and start pounding on him till the ref stops the fight. We've had Iran on the ground every time, and then we go to a neutral corner and they get up and rehabilitate themselves. And we're doing it again. This 10-day plan, delay, whatever you want to call it, is absurd because Iran's already said no. They shot at 2 ships today. And supposedly 2 American destroyers came under heavy fire. That is a declaration of war when you try and blow up $1 billion ship with thousands of men and women, U.S. sailors on board. You know what we said? We said, well, yeah, it happened, but the missiles didn't get through, so that's not up to the level of breaking the ceasefire. My God, if that doesn't break a ceasefire, what would? Really? It's a question. I don't know.
Nothing. At this point, nothing. There is no breaking ceasefire from their end. Again, I said this, and we got to go to our next ad break here. But I said this, and as always, the backlash, you everything they call me now, I lost track of the list, which I don't care. But it was, what I said was, at this point, Islamic Republic of Iran's regime, not the new regime, not the made-up regime that Trump talked about, the real regime that has been there, is still there, and the IRGC, they are publicly mocking the United States of America. They literally, I have seen them stand and say, "Come get me, I dare you." They literally have said that. However, due to truth social culture in America, still majority of Americans think we're somehow ahead of this and we won and there's nothing left of Iran, right? Because they go check President Trump's announcements, which, yes, there was a time long time ago, when the President of the United States of America would come out and give you a briefing of the truth of what just happened, or at least close enough to the truth. Now, unfortunately, we have a wonderfully arrogant man in the White House, and I will never take this back, because 90% of what we're facing is his ego. Him getting in the way of Israel was absolutely his ego and nothing else. He could not stand last year, by the way, the 12 days war. He couldn't stand to watch how much Israel military is getting credit, how the world is shocked by their capability. He had to bring the B-2s out and do the midnight hammer and come out there and say, we did it. And then next year we'll tell you we actually didn't do it. But for now, my ego needs to steal the spotlight and hijacked all credit from IDF. And millions, if not billions, were spent in dropping those B-2s, which now they're clearly telling us achieved nothing. And that was taxpayers' money. It's the ego. So the arrogant man goes out there and constantly put posts that are filled with made-up stories, absolutely not factual. And of course, when I talk about it, I am the never Trumper and I'm anti-Trump and I'm ungrateful and I should be deported. All of the above does not apply. However, truth tend to be bothersome for most Americans today. Let's go take our next ad break, guys. And then when we come back, we pick up right where we're leaving off. Be back. Well, hello everybody. It's Annie Cyrus. Welcome to my art studio where all the magic happens. This is the station for painting, and that is the station for all the resin art I do. If you want to check out my art, all you gotta do is go to lutfstudio.com. Finish this painting, but I'm sure, for at least I hope, I'll see you at lutfstudio.com. Welcome back to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for being with us until now. I greatly appreciate all of your comments. I do see them all, but as you can imagine, we can't read them all. But I appreciate your support. I'm glad that you listen to us and not President Trump. That's a great start. I encourage everybody else to do. Because at least we tell you the truth, no matter how hard it is. And lutfstudio.com, if you decide to go over there and pick up an art piece, make sure to use promo code MISSION for 10% off. And I have no idea how Substack has got to this point, but you guys are all making me blush. Thank you. I appreciate the compliments. That apparently the look is working today, so I'm glad it is working, tanned or not. Okay. So, Barry, do you want to add to anything that I will say? You're more than welcome to say you don't agree with anything I said about Trump or his decisions. I don't want to make a projection where people are going to think you necessarily agree with me.
Well, I do have an ethical consideration to add, and it's an agreement and enhancement for what you said. I am bothered in an ethical sense by the fact that Steve Witkoff, lead negotiator, Jared Kushner, son-in-law, second lead negotiator.
With no official position in the administration, we should add.
Exactly. Other than, he's the father of my grandbabies and married to my daughter. Very, very bright guy. But what concerns me, quite frankly, is they both run investment funds heavily invested in the area, specifically geographically, where their negotiations are going on. And I wonder whether or not the negotiations are influenced by the potential for billions and billions to be made starting in 30 months, when when Trump's presidency ends. These people will be out of government and they'll be running these investment funds that are apparently making big deals at the same time right now that you don't know about and I don't know about, that are going to include Gaza redevelopment, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. And there's one confusing thing I want to throw into the mix. I don't know if you have an opinion on this, but
I'm
at the
probably
same time, at the same time as Qatar is our best friend, even though they have been the financiers, the home, the refuge, and the directors of Hamas since Hamas started in Gaza in 2006. They're also now the prime sponsor and home away from home for Tucker Carlson, who every single day, and I mean literally now every day, comes out in support of Sharia, comes out against Christianity, comes out against Judaism, comes out against Trump, comes out against Israel, and comes out in favor of Iran, saying Iran never had any intention of having nuclear weapons, even though Iran says we have the uranium for 11 to 12 nuclear weapons and you can't stop us, ha, ha, ha. And that's what they said to our negotiators, Witkoff and Kushner, to their faces. So different motivation, perhaps. Qatar is funding Tucker from everybody's report, but he's ganging up on that same side as if America, under this leadership, is putting ourselves in a position that I just cannot explain. We started the discussion today and you asked me, I go, I don't know. I can't figure it out. It doesn't make any sense. It changes every day. And if you put them all, I mean, if you built like an Excel spreadsheet, Trump said this, here's the date, here's what he did. Trump said this, here's the date, here's what he did. You'd have 60 entries in the last 90 days, and most of them don't track. So, you know, if you're NATO or you're the Gulf Cooperation Council or you're Israel, you don't know what's coming next based on what happened last week and last month, do you?
Nope. So let me plug my book here, guys, for a second.
Okay.
The reason I want to do that is because a lot of people tend to get Tucker wrong. The Architecture of Jihad, by the way, so if you haven't picked up the book, you can grab it on Amazon, Kindle, and paperback. You can get a signed copies off my website, and Lord willing, audiobook is getting there. So here's why I want to plug the book. If you read the book, you understand what Barry just explained is not some misunderstood scenario. It is absolutely by design. What they're doing is they're using a combination of financial jihad, civilization jihad, propaganda jihad, and betrayal jihad to set the scene ready for a combat jihad. That's what they're doing. And most people think Tucker is doing it because Tucker is anti this and Tucker is anti that, and they think Tucker is Muslim. He's not. Very recently, in an interview with his brother, he actually said, everybody thinks I said the Shahada. I didn't. I'm still a Christian. But the power that these different faces of jihad holds over weak people, like Tucker, like Candace, let's not leave Candace out of it. It is very powerful. And when we don't understand where it's coming, we just zone out. We're like, okay, I'm going to boycott Tucker. You boycotting Tucker plays no role in the entire outcome. You understanding Tucker, however, will get you to get way ahead of the next Tucker and the next Tucker. And it also shows you that when Trump administration is in direct touch or contact with people from Qatar, from Turkey, from Syria, you then understand that there is no 3D chess or 250,000 D chess or anything in between. Because that's the thing. Very sadly, I still see people out there on social media who's counting on this being some 4D chess, 5D chess, 200D chess, some sort of chess.
Well, I think that those are the pro-Trump fans that don't want to be so discouraged because they can't figure out the illogical progression of boing, 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 boing. Foreign policy, as I said, all over the place every day with the bottles spinning, as I said in the beginning. So they want to read in something that gives a mystique to the plan that they don't understand. You know what I mean? And so they give Trump credit for pulling some miracle out of a hat that right now nobody in the world can see. And I mean nobody. Right? Right when it's announced that we're going to strangle Iran's oil exporting and we're going to cause them to shut in the wells, right when the reservoirs are full, which is right now, within a day or two or three, we give them relief. Right when we say you have till Sunday to sign the deal, he gives them a 10-day extension. Right when we're ready to go in there, as he said, bomb you back into the Stone Age. Now he says they have another, 10 days for his 14 points. And if they don't say yes, it's going to be bombing like they've never seen. But he believes him anymore. Nobody understands what he's doing. And quite frankly, and this is what scares me the most, I'm really worried about what we as Americans are going to have on the other side of all this when it's over. I don't know what the goal is anymore. I really don't. It's not regime change. We know that. It's not the elimination of their nuclear program, in spite of him saying it 52 times, because his new plan includes the right to enhance uranium again. So he's given up on that, if what I read is true. So that's not it. He's going to leave the Army in place, the IRGC in place, the Council of Experts in place, the Supreme Leader in place. And all these people have said their goal is to conquer the world and eliminate the United States and Israel and kill all the Jews and Christians. Oh, goody. Let's sign a deal with those people. That is where we're headed right now if Trump gets his way. And I think it's being heavily influenced by the War Powers Act hammer that the Congress seems to be threatening with, even though people within the administration say that the War Powers Act is unconstitutional and they'll fight it. I think Trump is worried it'll destroy the midterm election
I'm sorry.
potential.
Midterms are over already for us.
Well, I'm just telling you that that's an enormous consideration. And in addition, there's the ethical thing that I mentioned before the last break, which is we seem to be, we Americans who are not billionaire investors in Qatar and Saudi Arabia and UAE and Dubai and Gaza, we are watching American foreign policy being influenced by, geez, how many hotels can I build here after I make peace? And how big of a statue can they make of me after I declare peace? And all the things that we don't care about as people or citizens. I want America to be safe. I want Israel to be safe. I want our allies to be safe. And I don't think we're on that path. I really, really don't.
I will agree with you, but I will also remind you and my audience, we are talking about the same president who shook the hand of al-Shura, the man with direct blood of Americans on his hand, after lifting the $10 million bounty off his head, and called him a good-looking guy.
In a nice suit. In a nice suit.
In a nice suit that Saudi Arabia's sheikh paid for. And all the debt that Saudi Arabia wiped off for al-Shura. So again, I guess my stand is, why are we shocked? Why are we surprised? Even with the bottle spinning, that is what he did with Erdogan. That is what he did with al-Shura. That is what he did with Mamdani. So For me, it's easy to see it because I'm very good at recognizing pattern when it comes to people's behavior. But we are at the end of our show, Barry. So any last thoughts you want to leave my audience with? Also, make sure to remind them where to go to support you, to subscribe to your work, to donate. Say it, don't be shy. Tell my audience where they can support you in all forms possible.
Well, thank you for that very kind 30 seconds. Findberry.com. Findberry.com takes you to American Truth Project, where you can get all of our content for free just by signing up to be on our mailing list. And if you want to donate, it's a 501c3 and you get a tax donation. Okay, here's my takeaway from all this. We are right on the precipice of victory. Or are we playing for a tie, or do we not care? You know, I watch football in the fall, and we're on the 1 yard line, and we called a timeout, but we're not coming back on the field. Meanwhile, all the injured players on the other side are getting better, and the other side has been given so much time, they're trading for new players to bring them to the stadium to get stronger on defense. And we literally have a choice as a country right now. Do we want to win? Do we want to free the Iranian people as we promised? Do we want a regime that will be an ally of the United States and Israel and freedom-loving people around the world? Do we want civilization to return to this very proud people? Or are we going to abandon them like we have apparently in other places? You made a very good point. We had a terror guy leading a terror group in Syria who got a nice suit, shaved, took off his uniform, dropped the heads that he had cut off out of pictures, and played White House basketball and then hung out in the Oval Office because he had a nice suit on. And now he's killing Christians in Syria right now. Right now. The Druze are crossing the border begging Israel to save them from the Syrian leader that Trump entertains. So I don't know what we're doing. I wish I did. I wish I could influence policy. Nobody's calling to ask me anything, so there's nobody to talk to. But all I can tell you is what I'm seeing and what I'm watching and what you're analyzing is scaring the hell out of me. And we're on the 1 yard line. Do we want to win or not? That's my leaving question.
Well, I appreciate you being here. I look forward to having you back in 2 weeks on Wednesday again. And I have a very strong feeling we're going to repeat everything we repeated in just new terminologies. There won't be an end to it. Guys, go to findberry.com, support his work. If you can do financial support, that's great. If not, subscribe to his newsletter, get his videos, share it with your people, tell other people about his website. Because again, we are becoming minority within minority and we need your support. And Barry, you're awesome and you know that. I'll look forward to having you back on. We're going to take one last break. When we come back in 3 minutes, I'm going to close the show since this is my last show this week as well. Be right back, guys.
Hello, I'm Brandon House. Is the government tracking you? Do they have access to all your data? Well, if you go to worldviewtalk.com, you'll find out about a cell phone company that, well, does not store your data. They don't do that. This is what they're known for. They don't store your data. You have privacy. You're not being tracked. That's why a lot of folks are turning to worldviewtalk.com. You'll find their prices are very competitive. All the details are there at worldviewtalk.com. Again, worldviewtalk.com. Oh, while you're there, not only do they have cell phones that aren't tracking you, you can find out about how to get a satellite phone. Should the whole system go down and you want to communicate with a family member or a loved one, you might want to have a satellite phone. Or how about their solar generators? They have great solar generators. Check them all out right now. Worldviewtalk.com, worldviewtalk.com.
Welcome back to the last 4 minutes of the show. I greatly appreciate you being here. I was just scanning through your comments, some great comments here. And I won't be back tomorrow or Friday. I will be doing a live stream on my Substack on Friday. But anyways, I won't be here on my show. So I wanted to make sure to leave you with a call to action as always, right? Yes, I agree with Barry. Nobody knows what's coming tomorrow, especially under Trump administration. But here's what we do know. Let me start by we the American people. To start with, as I said on my Substack on Monday, it's time to stop your blind loyalty to anyone, including myself. I have never asked you to just believe me. I have shown you the receipt and provided you the documentation and backing of my claim. Even with that, I have asked you to confirm the information I'm giving you. So stop your blind loyalty. And furthermore, stop your party loyalty. You cannot constantly play the game of alternative is worse, so I'm going to pick bad. That's a very bad, I don't know why culturally or who has started that in Western culture. We actually don't do the pick lesser evil in our culture. We go for the good. We go for good, great, best. Therefore, we put aside the lesser evil or the higher evil, whatever evil it is. It's time to shift that narrative in America. And please don't tell me on the comment section of where are the good guys. There are plenty good guys out there. All you need to do is support them. Again, I'm one tough cookie. I'm not going to give up, but I told you before, many good guys out there with great information, great call to action, great organizations gave it up because Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are biggest supported names out there. And it's not because they have Soros or Qatar. No, they started with people like you, right? They built their momentums out of people like you. And then from there, they were picked up to change narrative and sell some lies to you. Support the people who are doing the right thing. Vote for the people. I don't care. Listen, guaranteed that the good person running as independent without loyalty to any of the party lines, guaranteed he's not going to win. Put your vote behind him. You know why? Because when they see the number of votes, they will be motivated to run again and again until they get in the office. These little things that we overlook matters. And I will plug my book again. Buy a copy or 2 or 5 of my book. Give it to your people. Give it to your pastors. Give it to your chief of police. Give it to your district attorney. Those who have read the book can tell you that genuinely in the most legit way, there are call to action and steps that you can take to stop a lot of what is happening inside America, including the Substack I released yesterday. Stop trying to ban Sharia in America. All you need to do is get your representatives and your law enforcement to enforce the law. It already exists. I don't want somebody making more legislations that's going to just sit and collect dust. Start enforcing the laws we already have. So there are solutions to every single problem we face in America. Don't be discouraged, but stay informed, because if you start getting a little too happy just because there's a solution, the solution is not going to fix the thing on its own. You need to grab the solution, implement the solution, and then problem is solved. So don't get too discouraged. Don't get too giddy, happy. But stay balanced. Balance is one of the best things we have been given by God. See the problem, find a solution, and then, sorry, but you're going to have to put in the work. You need to actually do the work. There is not a single person, either you like it or not a single person in United States of America's government from neither parties who is going to come save you. You either do it yourself. You're going to have to start saving your own zip code. That's how little we need to start. Start with your zip code. Save your zip code. Your way of saving your zip code can become a blueprint across America. I got to go because my time's up. You're all amazing. Make sure to check out my Substack, Love Up to Freedom.